Okay. All right, so we had just gone through labeling the different parts of an organelle, and now we're going to get into like what are their functions. So when we're thinking about that, a function, you want to ask yourself this question of what does it do? So when we're looking at functions, you want to ask yourself, what does it do? Okay, so here I have a chart. There's a chart here of different functions. The different structures we're going to focus on for this chart is going to be rough endoplasmic reticulum, smooth endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, mitochondria, lysosomes, and vesicles. So these are those different parts. And what the function is that we're going to ask, what are they going to do? So the rough ER, what a rough ER does is that it's going to synthesize proteins. Rough ER's job is to synthesize proteins. Smooth ER, its job is going to be that it's going to synthesize lipids and cell products and produces perioxysomes. I'll repeat that again. Synthesizes lipids and cell products and produces perioxysomes. The next one's Golgi apparatus. Golgi apparatus is going to process, package, and distribute proteins and lipids. So I kind of think about the Golgi apparatus as sort of like a post office. You go to the post office, you're going to package up the item, and then you're going to put an address label on it, and then it's going to distribute that product inside of the cell, or it's going to distribute it outside of the cell. The next one's mitochondria. So mitochondria, I don't know about that word. I kind of just like the way that word sounds, the mitochondria. Okay, the mitochondria makes ATP. ATP stands for adenosine triphosphate, which is the energy produced by cellular respiration. So we're going to talk about later on in the semester about how glucose is a molecule that is used in this process of cellular respiration and broken down into different types of molecules, and then at the end of that process, that energy is used to make ATP. So the mitochondria is responsible for that. Then there's lysosomes. Lysosomes, these will digest and get rid of cellular waste. And then vesicles is going to store and transport substances. So I would go ahead and pause here. And then as soon as you have these all written down, go ahead and unpause and then start. We'll start with this next part. Okay? So now that you unpaused, this next part is actually putting into or thinking about how would the organelles change when you consider what the main function of the cell is, and then why do you expect that change? Okay, so again, this question is how does the number of organelles change when considering the main function of the cell and why? So what I'm thinking of, as for instance here it says heart muscle cells that pump blood through the body. So if we have heart muscle cells that pump blood through the body, you're going to think about, okay, if its job is to push blood through the body, which organelle do you think is going to have to increase in number in order for it to do that job? So if we go back to the original, like this labeling of this eukaryotic cell, what's interesting about this, we're learning all the different parts. Here are what's found in it. But what that question is getting at is like, how would these numbers change? The numbers of organelles changed based on the function of what that cell's job is. So if we go back to the heart muscle cell, its job is to pump blood through the body. So I could imagine if we're needing to pump blood through the body, and we're looking at the function here in this table, I think it's going to need a lot of energy. It's going to need a lot of energy to push blood through the body, to give energy to that heart muscle, which is our heart, and then even to maintain the heartbeat. Like all of that's going to require energy. So that could be one reason or one way that this cell would change. So here it says mitochondria will increase because mitochondria produces energy, and a lot of energy is needed to pump blood and to cause the heartbeat. Another reason could be, another answer could be this one. Oops, I don't know why I moved that. But another answer could be this one. Lysosomes could be another answer. Lysosomes will increase because making ATP will cause waste product. So we need to get more lysosomes to get to digest and get rid of waste. So with this question, what you're doing is you're thinking about what the job or what the heart muscle is doing. Now it needs to pump blood through the body. And then looking back at these organelles to see which one would increase, or the number of organelles would increase, and why would it. So a lot of these questions are going to have multiple answers. I'll go ahead and let you think about this. Go ahead and work on these other ones. And I'm going to see what you guys came up with for skeletal muscle cells that stay the same and move bones. And then white blood cells that are disease-fighting cells by capturing organism causing the disease, and why. So be ready to answer, to provide what you guys came up with this part.